Hello, welcome back to my channel. So let's talk about Rick and Raydean and the season finale of Love After Lockup. So Raydean is doing everything she can to put the blame all on Rick. She says Rick was the problem in the relationship. It's his fault because he was so pushy and he would not just chill out. And she's saying that's the real reason she isn't feeling Rick. And she's just trying not to take accountability to look like the bad guy. So she's trying to put it all on Rick. And then Raydean went and sat her stepmom down. And she told her stepmom that her and Rick are not compatible. Yeah, he was compatible when you had him drop 12 grand on you. And her mom was upset because she's like, what? She was like really hurt because she really wanted things to work out for Rick and Raydean because she thought Rick was really good for her. So then Raydean finally admitted that Rick deserves someone who isn't in love with someone else, and Raydean dropped the bomb on her stepmom that she's married to Kay. And all her mom could sit there and say was this.
Married? Married. Oh my goodness.
Her poor stepmom looked like she was about to pass out or she was about to have a damn heart attack or both. And she was as shocked and confused as we all were when we found out that Raydean somehow married Kay. And Raydean told her stepmom that she got married by proxy to where only one person had to be there. So Raydean went down to the courthouse while she was in the halfway house and married Kay. So that means by Thanksgiving, when they all got together with Rick and Ramona, Raydean was already married and wasted Rick and her family's time just bringing him to meet all her family when she didn't even really have no real intentions of staying with the dude. So she told her family she planned on not telling anyone until Kay got out, but Kay may not be getting out for another 2 to 14 years. So Raydean is just trying to have someone help take care of her so she can help take care of Kay. And Raydean's stepmom, she told Raydean that she had to tell Rick, and Raydean doesn't want to because she knows Rick is going to call her out for using him, which she did. And Raydean tried to justify it by saying, well, I didn't ask him to do those things. And her mom called her out and put her in her place and said, well, you didn't stop him either. Like, and her poor stepmom just looks so sad and embarrassed. I'm sure she thought Raydean was just going to have this love story with Rick, find some stability. And I'm sure she was telling her parents the same thing she was telling Rick, saying, oh, let's do this show, let's get some money so we can get a house and get a head start for our future. And then they find out that she's turning around and making herself look bad on national TV by putting this guy through the ringer and pretty much just using him. And Raydean's stepmom, she started crying. She was so upset. She couldn't believe that it was already over with, and Raydean didn't even tell her family to let her family be a part of any of it. And Raydean's stepmom said that she's super scared because Raydean has had no stability any of her life because she's been on drugs before she went to prison. And Rick was the most stable person that has ever been in her life. And she chose someone who isn't getting out for up to another 14 years over Rick. Like, of course, someone who's doing that much time is going to want to marry you to try to keep you around that long. But you don't want to wait around that long when you don't know how someone's going to act when they get out. She could end up like another Kayla and Martell situation, sit and wait around for 12, 14 years just for her to come out and be super ungrateful and switch up on her. So I saw another interview Rick's roommate Ramona did, and apparently everything we saw with Rick and Raydean was filmed over a span of 12 weeks. So at the end of that 12 weeks, Raydean decided to meet up with Rick so they could hang out and talk, and Rick went into this whole meetup. He was still being positive, having hopes they can salvage their relationship, even though Raydean has been pretty much avoiding Rick at all costs. So Rick communicated how he felt with Raydean. I feel like he did so pretty well. He communicated how he felt Raydean was pretty much done with him before she got to the halfway house, and Raydean came out and told Rick that she knew she loved someone else, and Rick knows it too, and she spilled the tea to Rick that she is actually married to Kay. And Raydean said she was going to be honest from now on. Okay, now you're going to start being honest, and she isn't what Rick deserves. And Rick said, yes, I know, you're definitely not what I deserve, and I'm glad he called her out and wasn't taking her BS. And poor Rick, the whole time he's feeling like something's wrong with him. He's doing something wrong. He's just confused why Raydean didn't like spending time with him or why she didn't parole to his home. And now all the pieces fit together and it all makes sense. It's because she's married to Kay. And then she tried to look like she was sad, and you could tell Raydean was trying to pull real hard for a tear to come out, but she couldn't fake it. She was not really upset. She just seemed more relieved that it was finally over more than anything after she finally told Rick what she had been hiding. And I think Rick ended up turning out to be an alright dude this season. Like, yeah, he's a little on the wild side. He likes to whip his D out at parties, but he's really tried to be good to Raydean and be there for her. And I hope Rick finds him a bad bee that he can go be with, that gives him everything he deserves and some. I still strongly believe him and Ramona are perfect for each other and they should be together. Like, their little karaoke moment was so cute. And it's hard to find people you can just be 100% yourself around and talk to about anything. And I feel like Rick and Ramona had that. Like, he had his eyes fixed on the seed of Chucky the whole time when he had what he needed right in front of him. But I've talked about it in a previous video. And Ramona spoke out in some Love After Lockup Facebook groups and said she would never date Rick. She said he isn't her type and that he is into weird butt stuff and she's more conservative. And when I think about it, at the end of the day, they really are such great friends, and it would probably be a big mistake to come in between that and start a relationship that could potentially ruin this great friendship that they built over the years. Ramona and Rick have been friends for over 8 years now, and she's been a good friend to Rick. She's always defending him to the T every chance she gets, and everybody needs a friend like that in their lives. I always see her defending him in all these Love After Lockup Facebook groups. And Raydean tried to make Rick feel better about the situation by saying, well, there's still a good chance that Kay can get out and do me like I did you. And Rick was like, well, I don't wish that on nobody. And if karma is real, then that would happen. But just like Rick said, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Like, I cannot stand when people can just disregard other people's feelings like that and just destroy their heart and stomp all over it for their own benefit. Now Rick's gonna have trust issues because of Raydean with other relationships in the future, but hopefully next time he'll pick up on all the red flags being dropped left and right sooner. If I was in his shoes, I would have knew something was up on Thanksgiving right then and there when Kay was calling Raydean's dad and had to sit at the dinner table awkwardly on the phone while they ate. So Rick said he's done, and thank God, because I was scared he was going to continue letting Raydean string him along for a minute. Raydean said that she will wait a whole lot of time for Kay, however long it takes, and it doesn't matter if it takes up to 14 years, which it could take up to that long. If she can get out anytime between 2024 and 2036. So that girl may have up to 14 years to go still, and that's a long time. A lot can happen in 14 years. What, Raydean is like 29 right now, so she's going to be 43 at the oldest when Kay gets out. And then she started giving me Destiny vibes with her last words. So her closing last words of the show is that regardless of what happens, she knows she has Rick as her backup because she claims Rick will always be here and he isn't going anywhere. And she was acting pretty cocky and confident as she was saying those words. And according to an interview I saw Ramona do last week on Kiki and Kibitz, Rick hasn't reached out to Raydean once since filming, and I hope it stays that way. So Raydean left and Rick was still trying to comprehend everything, and he was in shock, and he said it felt weird because he felt like a homewrecker messing with a married lady, and he said he's never messed with a married lady except once, but he had permission to from her husband. So props to Rick for standing up for himself and being done with Raydean. Hopefully that's a part of his past. Like I said, I just feel so bad for everything that girl put him through, and now he's $12,000 behind and left with a broken heart. And you know that's gonna suck because you know when he came on the show and agreed to be on the show, he's probably like, okay, we're gonna do this right, we're gonna be one of the real couples. And I'm sure he probably seen people in the past who ended up getting used, and people were always like, I'm not gonna be that guy, that's not gonna be me. And then it really sucks when you say that's never going to be me and ends up being you at the end of the season. That has to be a tough cookie to crumble. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about Rick and Raydean in the season finale in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.